Big Mama's house. Big Mama's house. Welcome to Big Mama's house. Big Mama's house. Yeah. Big Mama's house. Welcome to Big Mama's house. Big Mama's house. Yeah.
Welcome back to Big Mama's house, y'all. Mama and Lizard are here today to talk with you about Sister Wives, Season 18, Episode 16, The Tell All, Part 2.
I am so proud of Mary in this episode.
Yes, we're going to get to all of that. Now, again, we're going to kind of remind you guys that we cover the episodes the way they happen.
Which
And
is basically a little jumping back and forth between all of them.
they split between Mary, Janelle, Christine, Kody, Robyn, Mary, Janelle, Christine, Robyn, Kody.
Just in case you're there just to hear one of them, and then so you have to say this the whole time.
Yeah, so I will do my best to make sure that you know who is speaking about what and where and whom. So pay attention, y'all, because this is going to be an interesting ride. So we start out when Kody said that Janelle wasn't in love with him and downplays their feelings, and Janelle said the bedroom was good. You know, because of course his new party line is that, you know, he never loved any of them. He just thought he did until he knew what real love was with Robyn, yada yada. And that's great for him, but he was addicted to his other original wives who basically carried his ass through the first 20 years of marriage and then carried his new favorite wife and her family the entire time they've been married.
Little bit of a teaser for later on in the episode. We figure out why Christine and Mary are not close.
Okay. And here's my thing. Okay, you saw Kody's behavior and reactions the entire season.
Yeah.
Right? He was acting like an idiot.
Yes.
But now, here on the tell-all, he's all like...
figured it out.
Calm and rational, not emotional. I'm thinking that dude is medicated.
He has to be.
Like, he seems like, yeah, but with the before and after, I've seen it in you. That manic, extra, like, everybody is like, rah! Everything is like that. And then once you get your medicine, everything is much calmer and more rational. And
I can think through things.
Yeah, so, I mean, he seemed... not in a bad way. I'm not saying, oh, he's a nutball, so they put him on drugs. I'm just saying, sometimes if you have depression, anxiety, all that stuff, you do need medication, and that's okay.
He probably had like a long-term depression that the show was like, hey, have you thought about drugs?
Oh, I don't think it was the show. I think 100% it was his wife.
Robyn, oh yeah.
100%. Because she's like, I'm sick of your shit, and this needs to change, because...
she even said he was picking fights with her.
Yeah. And I like that part because, you know, they shouldn't have it too easy. And Janelle said that she didn't think that he wants her back. He just wants to stay face. And he doesn't think that he needs to earn his acceptance from the other wives. Like, he should just be boom.
When in reality, he does need to earn it because, you know, okay, you may have multiple wives, but you're still supposed to be your wives. You're still a partner.
You're still supposed to love them and accept them, and they shouldn't have to earn shit.
Right?
And Christine said that she also felt the need to earn approval from Kody. And Mary said that loyalty isn't enough for Kody, regardless of what he says, because she did everything he asked, and it didn't make a bit of difference.
Right? He's a dick to Mary even before all this. Like,
and he says that he, quote, chose to love Mary, unquote, and then, quote, she thinks we were mad about each other, unquote. And he says he just played it out, but he was, of course, he tried to be romantic with her because that was what you're supposed to do, right? And even though he wasn't like madly in love with Mary, like, you know, obviously he is with Robyn, at the time they probably thought they were in love, and Mary probably had no clue that he was faking anything or forcing anything.
Or maybe like he actually did love her at that time, and then again, like they married, and then things change.
Well, when you're young.
Yeah, especially like
I mean, you've thought that you were in love a couple times.
Once.
Like puppy love. And when you're young and it's the first time, like it was for Mary and Kody.
Yeah.
it's very intense, and you don't have anything to compare it to because it's your first real big love experience. And so obviously, that's going to feel amazing until you find what real, true, mature adult love is.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was before the first commercial. I section each episode by the commercials because there's
Yeah.
always at least 4. And so after the first commercial, we come back and Mary was talking about moving her business to Utah, and they replay the whole scene of her and Robyn telling Kody that they're moving and whatever.
And this scene goes on for too long.
Yeah, the recap. And then they bring up the Barnuminium again. That piece of shit. And Mary said that she had hope before, but Kody finally told her the truth because he had been telling the public on TV, on his one-on-ones, about, Mary and all this stuff for a while. But she didn't ever see that until the one-on-one.
And according to the other wives, also to them.
But he had never said it to her before that. And that's why she held out hope, because he never came out to her and said, "Hey, we're done. I don't want to do this with you anymore." And that's why she kept holding out hope, because he kept stringing her along. And Christine said that there is no life for Mary if she stays. And she wants to know, and I think we all would like to know, what is Robyn's motive for pressuring Mary to stay? Is it just the money? Is it just the fact that
maybe she didn't want to deal with Kody all on her own?
Well, but Mary has been completely cut out of the family for so long that, she wasn't really sharing Kody with her anyway. Because Mary wasn't, ever, or he distanced himself from Mary as much as possible.
Yeah.
And that's just how it was. And so Robyn said that Kody would make comments to her that he should call Mary because it had been a while, etc. Things like that. Like little comments about, checking in with Mary, whatever. And so she had hoped that he might change his mind. Like that he might still have tender feelings for her.
According to Robyn, she says that the reason why she agreed to be this polygamy with him was because she saw how much he loved his wives. And maybe that's true. Maybe that's, again, we talked about before in previous episodes and on Mom's personal one, if you want to go listen to that Robyn really could be just in the dark about everything. Because it's really possible that none of them are allowed to watch the show. Because Kody says so. She's the loyal, obedient one.
Because after I had that little epiphany about how I think maybe Robyn really is in the dark about all this stuff.
And if she came into this family wanting polygamy and seeing how much he loved his wives, seeing him just be so mean and treat Mary so coldly after everything she's been trying to hold on to him.
Yep.
I can see that being a whole big issue for her.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not just that, the way he treated all 3 of them.
Right.
And it's not okay.
And she wasn't, maybe she doesn't watch the show. Maybe she wasn't even aware about how he actually treated them because she didn't watch those clips.
Exactly. And Kody said that Robyn has been advocating for him and Mary to reconcile for 7 years. And he's been frustrated by it because he's made it clear that he doesn't want anything to do with Mary.
I also think maybe one thing that pushed Kody away from Mary too is because we see that Robyn doesn't argue with Kody about anything, but apparently Mary was the topic she always was pushing. So maybe seeing the one topic that was making his obedient little loyal wife go back on him on just made him more wanting to be away from Mary.
Push him away even more.
Yeah.
Cody said that he feels the emotions of friendship with Mary, and Robyn knows that, and that's it.
That's not friendship, dude. You're being a dick the entire time to this woman.
Yeah. For real. And it's
that's how you treat your friends.
It's a issue of your own making. You chose to have 4 wives.
Right.
You may not have chosen to fall madly in love with one of them, but you still did, and you still have a responsibility to those other people that you have had a life with for 30 years.
Children. Your children.
Exactly. Yep. And Janelle says that she thinks Mary calls Robyn in to help her with situations with Kody. But Kody had told Janelle for a long time, I guess, and often, that there was no hope of a relationship with Mary. And Christine said that you hope until you can't. And that's what happened with her, is that she held out hope for the longest time until, like, the reality of it was just, there is no hope left and it's time to move on.
And now she's just, and that hope turned into basically agony until she left. It's like, I feel so much better.
Yeah, and
It's like staying in the pot that's boiling until it gets too hot, and you leave the pot and you feel better because you're not in the boiling water anymore,
but she still got scars.
right?
So Kody said that he loves Mary, but he's not in love with her. And it is not safe for him to be in love with Mary. What the fuck?
What does that mean?
Like,
I was confused by that too. What the frick do you mean by not safe? What do you mean?
yeah, I don't get it. It's like,
Is it about the catfishing thing? Get over it,
well,
dude.
no, this happened. We'll get to all that. Hang on. This was before the catfish. And Kody said that,
Oh, right. This happened around Christine too.
yeah, hang on.
This goes far back, guys.
And Kody said that you can make up any bullshit you want as to why it's not safe for him, but he's not going to drive the bus over her. And I'm like, well, that's a first. You've always been the first one to happily throw Mary under the bus about anything.
All of them have.
Exactly. I mean, she's just been their whooping post for the longest time.
I honestly,
They say about how bad they treated her, but let me tell you, we have seen you treat Mary just as badly for the same amount of time on the TV that you claim that she was so awful to you at the beginning of your marriage. So can you call it even now and stop being wicked bitches? Because I am really, really, really over
right?
Christine and Janelle fucking playing mean girls with Mary all the time.
Right? And when we learn about what happened right after he got with Christine too, I understand why Mary and Christine aren't getting along. I understand that. That was a huge.
But it was all Kody though, was the thing.
But honestly, though, I think that's why Robyn and Mary came close to each other, because Janelle and Christine were playing mean girls.
Yep.
Kody was still being a dick to Mary, but Mary was immediately, nice to Robyn.
Yeah.
She was like, and Robyn would probably appreciate that. Mary's the only one in the family that's
ever been kind to her.
Yeah.
And included her and accepted her.
Or to even talk to her side of things.
And Kody said about, the relationship with Mary, he said, it's sad, but it just didn't work. And, and sometimes that is the truth. Sometimes.
But you don't gotta be a huge dick about it not working out.
Yeah, like, I love how all of a sudden on the one-on-one, he's being so calm and rational. And again, I'm thinking he's got to be medicated, because there's no way
He went
that
from
in those
crazy wild
few
hair.
weeks, like maybe a month or two between the filming and the one-on-ones, that, he got all this mature, idealization all of a sudden. I don't believe that.
He started depression meds like immediately after that last airing.
Yes. And that was the end of the second commercial. So beginning into about the middle of the show here, Mary asked Robyn to be there to talk to Kody because she, quote, speaks Kody. And
the rest of the wives laugh at that.
Robyn said, Kody doesn't have a filter. He says everything he thinks. And so she can be like, maybe that's not the right way to,
word things.
Yeah, or not just say every single thing that comes in your mind. And Christine said that she is not going to be nice because she has known Kody for 32 years, and Robyn convinced them that she is the only one who, quote, spoke Kody and insisted on moderating their relationships. It's BS. And I'm like, well, okay, that's great, but you, again,
also,
you openly accepted that help, right? You didn't say, no, we've been married for, 15 years. We got this. We're fine.
Right.
You were like, okay, great. Maybe this will improve our communication and make things better. But it just gave you another reason to resent Robyn.
Yeah.
And
honestly, if you just look from their side of things, Robyn looks like a huge B. She's like a huge dick just brought as Kody. But if you look at her from her side of things, and even Mary's, she looks like she's in a controlling, possessive, abusive relationship.
Yes.
But how tightly Kody keeps like them in the dark, and just they only hear about they only hear about the other one.
They only hear his version,
right? And maybe that's why Robyn even started asking if they would talk about it, because she hears what Cody's ranting about them.
Yep.
And she's like, I don't want this to be an issue. So
even though for years she spouted that she doesn't talk to Kody about the other wives because it's not a good thing to do. like to gossip behind your sister wives' back.
But if you're mediating between them, you don't have to gossip behind their backs because you're there.
That's what I'm saying. She claimed for years, though, that she never got involved with any of their business.
Yeah.
And now it's all coming out that it's all bullcrap. So Janelle says about that whole speaking KODY thing that she didn't want ROBYN in their relationship. And she also tries to get involved, or ROBYN tries to get involved with moderating between the kids and KODY. And
Dude,
Janelle says
that should be able to talk to his children.
Janelle said, we've known them like their entire lives. They know their dad. There's no translation required, but thank you.
Right?
And Mary says she's going to own her truth, and sometimes the truth hurts. Like him putting her in the barn.
That was a huge.
He's such an idiot. He was an idiot.
He's just a joke.
And she said that KODY never told her it was really over. Like, he would make comments and things.
Again,
but before all this happened this season, and like, we'll get to all that. Hang on.
Yeah.
And then Christine said KODY thought he was being benevolent by letting her live in the barn. And she's like, Mary stuck around and he discarded her like that? Ugh. You know? And that's exactly what it is. She has stuck around and been loyal and done her best.
And taken all the abuse and like hits at her.
From everyone in the family dang near. And she's still getting shit on for being the loyal one.
Right.
Even though he claims that loyalty is all that matters.
Right.
It's crazy. And so Christine also said, it's not my place to tell, but here I go. And I'm going to say right now, this whole thing here is bullshit. Bullshit. And we'll get to that when we get to Mary's part. So Christine says that after ROBYN came into the picture, he melted down his original wedding ring with Mary, and he kept the gold and the diamonds. And I'm like, okay, wait, we'll go on to that. And then Christine continues that Mary eventually asked about the ring, and he coldly told her what he did in front of Christine. So in my opinion, he's a dick and she's a bitch.
Right.
Because she's laughing about this. And KODY said he didn't want Mary to have, quote, control over him or power over him anymore. And again, just like with it's not safe to be married to him or her or whatever.
You're the one.
What control and power does she have over you?
Right.
Fucking say it out. Be like, what is it?
Why would, and also him melting down that ring is just like super cruel.
Well,
especially
and then
Mary.
we get to that when we get to Mary's part. And then Christine also said that it had been your ring for 15-ish years. Of course, it would be emotional. So they got together and bought him the KODY ring that he wore for a long time until all the wives left and he took it off, and now he's got the one he designed or bought with ROBYN. And then, okay, after the one-on-ones are over, it says, there's a little thing on the screen. After the one-on-ones were done, Mary found out that Christine shared the ring story. And so she didn't even know when they were there, because obviously they don't film at the same day.
As we said in the last episode, we saw them all getting ready separately. So they weren't in the same building at the time, or even the same probably.
Yeah, they all interview separately for those things. So they don't want to run into each other because, they're infants. So it goes to Mary, right? And she looks angry, sad, very upset, very emotional. And
I don't blame her.
And I hate, this is another little nitpick of mine. They all say that they're frustrated instead of angry. Why are people not allowed to say, and honestly, I am so angry right now. You don't have to say you're frustrated. Yes, frustrated is a component of being angry, but just say you're fucking pissed.
Right?
Just be honest.
I would love it if Mary,
if Mary what?
Like, if she could just cuss one time at Christine and them. Just be like, frick you guys.
Yeah, for real. Not that they would care because they're heartless bitches. So, Mary says, it was a story about me that I chose never to tell publicly. If I wanted to share it, I would decide when and how and where I want to. And someone took it upon themselves to tell that story, and now I'm being forced to talk about it. And it was not Christine's story to tell. She can laugh about it all she wants, but it wasn't her business to tell. And this, she's getting more upset as she talks. And she says, she doesn't get to come here, tell my story without me even knowing about it and finding out later. My hand is being forced. And so she says, around the time KODY and ROBYN started dating, KODY started talking about not wearing the wedding ring she gave him as his legal first wife.
Yeah.
He told her that he didn't want her to, quote, have claim on him. He didn't think it was fair, and so he melted it down. And she says it was a symbol of our marriage, our commitment, and he melted it down. Who's to say he didn't melt down our entire relationship in that moment? That's a valid question.
And the fact that Christine thought that it was like okay to share it because she's now left him and everything, that just because you were there doesn't mean it's yours.
Yes, I was trying to think of something I was going to say and I completely lost my train of thought. But okay, and so and now here Mary is getting even more upset. Like if you can see tears in her eyes, her voice is like wobbling and she's trying to keep it together.
Like the first time I've ever seen Mary actually, kind of break down in the season.
In a long time, yeah.
Even when she first found that KODY didn't marry her, she was still she was still keeping focus.
Yes.
I think again, like the fact that someone who claimed to be her sister wife for so many years just starts laughing at her pain.
Right. That's just evil. And that changed my entire perception of Christine.
Like I get it.
It really, really did.
Happy you're divorced. Don't become a bee.
Yeah, like don't Mary has been paid for her sins 100 times. She is paid and paid and paid and paid. And enough is enough.
But the good thing about this is I think Mary finally was like, well, guess what? I know everything about this family, and we'll go that to the
before we move on any further, I want to say that in their book that I covered way back in the beginning of the Sister Wives series, it was written about 13, 14 years ago now, and she said that whenever ROBYN came into the family, she had a really hard time, and that her and KODY were at their lowest point ever. And I think it's because, and of course, they'd never told the story before. I think it's because of the ring.
Yeah.
And that makes so much sense now of why she was so awesome when ROBYN, they were courting and dating and stuff. But then when they got engaged, everything kind of changed her. And I think it's because this ring thing happened and it really had her upset.
Right.
And she had no one to turn to for comfort.
Because honestly, Christine, even back then, wasn't going to be.
And obviously, we know Janelle is not the most kind person.
So basically, even before all the catfishing, there's again there's a reason why.
Oh yeah, this was 7 years before the catfish.
Yeah, like you understand that this is why she felt so lonely, and there was nobody. No one wanted to be around her and help her, even though
she had nobody, and I couldn't even imagine how lonely that was. So Mary said symbolically that's what he did. She asked him if she could keep it if he didn't want to wear it, and he said no because she didn't want him having a claim over him. And at this point, she's holding back tears, okay? She said it was a very, very painful situation. This all happened 7 years before the catfish, and she stayed and tried to fix things with him, but he didn't want that. And now she was getting angrier, and you could tell that, she was like...
It's ramping up.
And she said she looked for a friend because she sure didn't have any in her family.
Ooh.
That's exactly what she said.
I hate how it hurt Mary, but I'm glad about how she's reacting.
And I am kind of glad that the story's out there. She doesn't have to hold on to that hurt anymore. It's out there.
Still, it was.
I don't get me wrong. It's an evil. I mean, the fact that Christine did it and then was laughing about it, and no, it's not.
Just because you're over everything that happened in the marriage doesn't mean Mary is.
Exactly.
You are not married.
And the fact that she hung on for so long. The way she talks to him and the way she looks at him, she still loves him.
Right.
As no matter how bad he's been crappy to her, she loves him. And this whole thing has been incredibly painful for her.
I am stoked for what Mary does in the next one, though.
So, okay, coming up, ROBYN said, the ring thing happened before she and KODY dated because he wasn't wearing a ring when they were dating. And then KODY said that he saw a cool ring, a nicer ring, and wanted to get it. And he got it. The ring that he's wearing now.
Yeah.
Right? He said some things happened and he no longer wanted those relationships, so he took off the original ring. The only hope might be with Janelle to repair relationships with of the original wives. And he's saying all this about his wedding ring, okay, with his 4 wives, with 0 emotions, which is another reason why I think he might be medicated. And he said, no more Claudia ring, he's done, new beginning. And I'm like,
Dude,
wow. Like,
you couldn't show any kind of
so
emotion
even
there.
if Janelle wanted to get back with you, she's still gonna be the odd man
She's
out.
gonna be your friends with benefits. I think you just want her for her body.
Honestly, it would be like KODY pimping himself out. He wants her money and the money she can bring in to the family.
And you're just like,
And so he pays her back with that with sex. So he's basically pimping himself out.
maybe he likes it. Maybe that's what's going on.
Well, yeah. So after that commercial, Mary says, I've seen how kind, giving, and loving KODY it can be with others, and waited for her turn, but it never came. She's like, just tell me instead of being mean to me.
Right?
You know, don't be that guy who's like be's the dick to the girlfriend or the wife just to get her to break up because you don't want to be the bad guy. And we talked about that several times about this situation as well. And Mary says, their marriage is eternal, but he abandoned me emotionally and said very hurtful things. And I'm like, well, yeah, that's the way he's been acting for several years. So, yeah, he's a dick. And then, okay, they did a recap of the Mary, KODY, ROBYN scene out at Coyote Pass. Yeah, all that.
I feel like those extras that they showed. I think they showed the part where ROBYN was on a walk.
Yes, and showed Mary and KODY speaking alone.
Yeah, because we didn't get to see that the first time. I don't think so. I don't think it was the original episode.
Yeah, and the truth comes out. He said at the truth comes out for that point, obviously. We didn't know that he has no desire to work on or heal their relationship. And you know, obviously that hurt Mary because she was like, I thought we had maybe a little bit of a chance, you know.
No one told me this.
And she's like, but you promised. He promised her a forever marriage, that he would love her forever.
And then right after, he brings up a promise he made to ROBYN that he refuses to break.
And she said 4 years ago, he said that they could have a new beginning on their anniversary. The next year on their anniversary, this was during COVID, he had changed his mind and didn't want anything to do with anybody, basically, especially her. And I'm like, what happened in that time?
He had all that alone time with ROBYN. He liked it.
Oh, maybe.
They were on COVID together. He didn't talk to anyone else, and he liked just having one wife. He liked just having one household.
Probably. And Mary said that he was never clear with me about his feelings until our anniversary this year, only about 6 or 7 months ago. And I'm like, that rat bastard.
Right?
He's been keeping her hanging on and hanging on and hanging on because she contributes a lot of money to the household pot. You know?
Also because he probably knows that ROBYN wants polygamy. So he needs to have one wife that's sticking around.
Right. And she said that she didn't know it was definitely over before that, and that was the turning point for her and the way we saw her new sassy attitude, and we're here for it. And she said she's mad at him for not giving her what they promised each other, and she can't do it one-sided anymore. She tried. And then poor Mary has to comfort ROBYN again.
Right.
You know,
the whole entire hand, she's crying.
And Mary said, I'm not going to live lonely anymore. It's not fair to me. And I'm like, yes.
She calls herself,
yes.
She said that she's single. She calls herself a single woman.
And I love that I say it again, same as last episode, when it shows their name at the bottom of the screen during the women one, and it says ex-wife, I'm like, yes, every time.
I'm stoked for Mary. I'm not Mary. Team Mary. We're standing Mary.
And KODY deflects all the, little pointed jabs she gets about, kind of stringing her along and not telling her the truth for so long and talking behind her back and everything. Right. He talks about how everyone talked about his back and how pissed and hurt he was. He said nothing but that about Mary for years.
Right.
So you get what you give, motherfucker. That's my opinion. And he's like, yeah, he goes, if you really wanted to, I'd be willing to act and keep up the pretense and put more effort into it. But, I really don't want to,
You're
but
such
if
an
you wanna,
a-hole.
such an asshole. And after the tell-all last year, Mary found out that Kody didn't want to be with her, and she wanted to address it publicly, and he said no.
And so she basically forced his hand at the picnic table.
Because he said he didn't want the criticism, so he wanted no public input. And that was just in April of this year.
Right?
And then on their anniversary, whenever he told her that, and he was like, yeah, no, we're not going to talk about it, but we're just not going to be together.
No, she's like, no, we're talking about this. We're definitely talking about this in public.
So in April, he said, we're not married, but I don't want to talk about it. And in September, he said he didn't consider her a wife. And a couple months after that, they had the Coyote Pass conversation about the splitting up. And he had said crap to her and to the public, but he wouldn't address it. And
publicly with her.
Well, that's what she was saying at the
the
meeting whenever they showed the extra footage of when Robyn when they're talking. And she said that he was always talking crap about her behind her back and to the public, but he never talked to her about it actually being over and like making a statement to the public about, hey, this is done and we're going to separate and move forward.
Right.
And so he straight up says he lies to the fans to get what he wants. The wives don't. They've always said, oh, this is real life. This is really us, blah, blah, blah. But he's straight up admitting that for years he's been pretending and he lies and acts to like show a certain way to the public. So he's lying to his fans. He straight up admits it.
He lied to his wife.
And is a complete asshole, immature prick when it comes to all of them.
Right?
It's crazy. Janelle says she doesn't know why Mary hasn't left. She would have.
And then Suki even tells her Mary says he never told her.
And so Janelle replies, she figured he had told Mary because he was telling her so often. And she said this with a smug, superior, look and on her face and the tone of her voice. No empathy or compassion at all.
Like
none. How can you do that?
And she even says that if that's true, she said if.
Right.
Freaking dick. That it was a seriously like uncool.
Yeah. If he didn't tell her, that was an unfair and uncool thing to do. That's it.
That right?
That's all you gotta say?
Right? After all, her being strung along for over 10 years now?
Yeah, but that was just unfair and uncool. That's all you gotta say. That's it.
I get why they're like, have like no feelings about it, but like, you have to be empathetic.
You are making yourselves look like terrible people. And if that is not really who you are, you need to change up your party line here, ladies.
I get it.
You're making yourself look like dickbags.
You don't have to like or have feelings for Kody. But like, you were family with Mary for the longer than ever.
Yep.
She was OG. She was there to bring you in and help you out when you first got there.
Well, tried to anyway.
Right.
So, and at the end of the episode, Mary says, I will no longer be silent. My voice will be heard. And I'm really hoping that she's going to come out with the book. I'm praying, hoping.
I want her to spill
every bit of tea.
Okay, now that she sees that the other wives are willing to, spill crap about her.
And be hateful about it.
I want a book where she spills all the things the other wives
from the beginning. I
want a chapter on Kody. I want Robyn. I want Christine. I want Janelle. And I also want the kids in there. I want all the family. I want Mary to give us the full tea.
Yes.
She's like, get ready. This is going to buckle up for the ride because you're going to hear all the trash.
Yes. Because I remember in the book there was a thing about when they were talking about taking care of kids or something and how they all had different ways of child parenting.
Yeah.
And Mary said something about there was an issue at one point, but she didn't want to go into it because it wasn't her story to tell. It was Janelle's. And I'm wondering if
we're going to get into that now.
Yeah, like, okay, you had to keep some stuff quiet because you didn't want to rock the boat with the sister wives any more than you did and to make y'all look bad.
I wonder if she'll open up what happened with Mykelti and the kids too, since they aren't willing to talk about it. She's like, I'm not going to be silent anymore.
And I hope Leon is in there too, because that's all she has is Leon and Audrey. And, You know, it's sad. And don't get me wrong, the fact that she has her kids is amazing. Okay, don't get me wrong. But like she had 18 kids.
Right?
And
He was there for all of them.
100%. And it's really sad and it makes me angry that, you know, they're playing mean girls and it's not okay. You guys are too old for that shit. And you should be better than that because you are mothers, you are grandmothers, and you should be, you know, trying to show a good example, you know,
Yeah.
promote, you know, now that you're all separated, just be happy for each other and move on. You don't got to talk shit. If that's the only thing that you can do to stay relevant, then you need to get off the television, my friend.
Right? Move on with your life.
100%. Okay, guys, that was a lot. That was season 18, episode 16 of Sister Wives Tell All Part 2. There should be 2 more parts, I believe.
Yeah.
So we will be back with more for y'all next week, unless we get some tea in the meantime.
Right?
Okay, guys, let us know what you think about all this mess in the comments, okay? Please give us a like, share, subscribe, because it's free.
Right?
Um,
Also, you gotta do it because Ellie had surgery today. And
yes, she got spayed today, and she got her microchip and all her shots and all this
there's
stuff.
gonna be extra photos of Ellie in this video if you haven't noticed.
Yeah, I've been a nervous wreck, and I cannot wait to get her home. So, all right, guys, please be safe out there. Wear your seatbelts, use your turn signals. Like us today, spay and neuter your pets. And please be kind. Do not act like these immature, awful women on TV. Be kind to everyone out there. Be kind to yourself. And until next time, y'all. Bye.